Clash Royale. Interview with our first winner of the night. It is Dark.
Let's see what he has to say here.
8강 진출도 1등으로 4강 진출도 1등으로 이제 어디까지 1등으로 진출하게 될지 궁금해지는데요. 진출 소감 먼저 들어볼게요.
사실 좀
Made it out of the round of 16 in first place, round of 8 in first place.
전태양 선수가
How far are you going to go this season?
게임하는 내내 스트레스를 너무 많이 받아서 좀 이거 어디가 풀고 싶은데
Dark saying that he prepared a ton, and he said TY was so annoying in that game and gave me a lot of stress. It was really annoying me to try to kill him in that game.
좀 의도를 한 건가요?
약간은 의도한
Ever since group selection, you're getting into it with some of these KT players. Is it getting personal? What's going on? Is it intentional?
김도우 선수와 팀킬을 하게 될 수도 있지만
He says it's not intentional, but it's kind of funny that I'm just knocking out KT player after KT player.
약간 둘 다 좀 맛있어 보여가지고
He says, to be honest, both of his candidates that could come through in the round of 4 are quite tasty, is what he says. Stats or Classic, that will be the second match we are going to have tonight. For example, Classic, he says he's not too scared of him. He actually beat him last season and went on to the championship. You're a very confident player, especially in these interviews. Is that because of mind games? You want to appear confident for your next opponent, or do you actually feel this confident? He says it's very reminiscent of head coach Jae-young Song. I don't actually know who that is, but maybe you guys out there can search. He says overall, I'm not really, purposely doing it. It's just kind of my style. To be confident, kind of cocky in these interviews, kind of my personality. To be clear, I'm not sure he was talking about Uv before. He said maybe it's not his head coach. It says TY seemed very familiar with the maps that we have in this pool, but Dark did as well. What do you think about these maps? Seems like TY was too stubborn with sticking with a specific style. He said, as expected, even though it was a hard time today, it was annoying to deal with, I was able to deal with it. How did you feel that every time you went for a Nidus, it got shut down hard? Went for the Nidus just to let him see it. It didn't really matter if I went for it or not, or if he stopped it. I just wanted him to have a specific reaction. Specifically in that game on Dusk Towers, the Niduses did very well on New Gettysburg. Lots of Zergs going for a specific build, maybe the Ling Queen build. Seems like you went for a small twist in Game 3. Can you tell us some about that? Again, because TY goes for a lot of specific, builds over and over. I was trying to do a counter build, but it did get spotted. Said again, he was just really annoyed trying to deal with TY's play. It's very annoying to play against him, it seems. The third set, he thought, I'm ahead, I'm just going to take it easy, I'm not going to... That's what he's saying. I'm not sure that he actually means it, as it was still a very close game. So he did a good job in the mid game in Game 3, but towards the late game he started getting pushed around a bit and felt like he lost control of the game. So although you said you are headed to the finals, you still have the round of 4 match to go through first. So let's hear some about that.
4강은 무조건 토스전이라서
Dark says, I always come out here with a lot of confidence,
우승하는 모습 보여드릴 수 있게
and it's because I practice this game so much. I am going to prepare a ton against Protoss in preparation for my next match against Stats or Classic.
오늘의 두 번째 매치와 함께 돌아오겠습니다.
And that is going to do it for our interview with our first player to make it to the round of 4.
Yes.
Nice to see Dark moving on. Very appropriately so. He was obviously the better player there in that matchup just because his multitasking was great. He had a great build. And he mentioned it actually in the interview. He felt like TY was very kind of stubborn to switch out of doing a very similar strategy each time.
I mean, we saw TY going for a similar strategy. He went for the Hellion kind of style with the tanks a couple of times. He didn't mix it up for that Frost game, but it really just seemed like Dark was like, no, I can just shut that down easily with the build that I'm going for. So he was like, okay, you know, it's fine. Go for that. I'm just going to get ahead.
Right, and so Dark has proven himself versus one of the strongest Terrans in really the world at this point. But his next opponent will be Protoss, and that's going to be our next matchup coming up tonight. Stats versus Classic.
Yeah, PvP. It should be kind of fun. I'm predicting. I was wrong for TY as he gets 3 1s here. It was actually the opposite of my prediction. But I'm predicting Stats to get through on this one. His PvP is fantastic. Although, we'll see if Classic has something prepared. PvP changing a lot these days. Guys, we're going to go into a quick commercial break before we get to Stats versus Classic. Stay tuned.